our main tool is the SQL Server here, and we are going to generate a database using the engine. This RDBMS is the SQL Server here. We'll generate entities, relationships in between the entities, and we'll understand what does mean primary key and so on. And then after, we are going to interrogate the database from different perspectives. We'll try to do the maximum from those queries to make you understand. And let's dig in, no more no less. So our main tool today is the SQL Server. This is the engine in background. We defined in theory the SQL Server, what is it and how to use it and so on. So let's use it. Let's use it. Start menu, SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, SQL Server Management Studio. I typed SSMS only. I only typed SSMS, and it has brought me this tool, SQL Server, SQL Server Management Studio. It's the interface via which we are going to use the SQL Server. Yes, here it is. Briefly here, I'm going to use it as a Windows authenticated user. So Windows authentication, whatever, I just don't bother myself. So since we are not tackling the security feature as many as we are willing to solve an issue, so let's be authenticated as a Windows authenticated user, then connect it. Okay, I am Fulan. He's telling me that he's recognizing me. Who am I? Okay, we are going to create a database as per the request. Let me check in if he gives. Yes, flight sys. The database name is flight sys. So we are going to generate a database with this name. Let's do that. And inside of this database, there would be those 4 entities: pilots, flights, pilots on flights, planes. And the relationships, we'll try to draw them later on. Let's do that. So let's create the database first of all. On the database hive here, if I expand, we have some database already in my case. I'm going to create a new one. On the database hive, right click, new database. And the name here is flight sys, like the question is asking us, like the same spelling. Immediately, I will not interfere in any other preferences, just okay. He's telling me master. Actually, I'm not able to change the master here. Create failed database flight sys, Microsoft. Create database permission denied, and database master. Okay, I'm going to say okay. What I'm going to do here. I'm going to log in because the issue can be happening because of more than one reason. I'm going to avoid that by authenticating myself again. Database, new database. You will not have that error. This is for sure on your computer because actually here we are in a public domain in our environment, so I'm not using the master database at all. I'm going to authenticate myself differently. Disconnect this one. For yourself, you'll not find this issue. This is for sure. So because here we are inside the University of Nizwa, so we'll for a reason we find we'll face this issue. New database here. Flight sys. Great. If I expand, here it is. Here it happened. Here it came to me. Here it came. It is the flight sys. If I expand this flight sys now, the tables, we have the tables here. The tables high. I expand the tables. I have no tables. I have only some entries. They are not our concern for now. We're going to create the table, the 4 tables we have in our question, which are, I'll start with the first one, which is the pilots. The pilots table have 6 fields. Let's dig in. So the pilots, let's start with creating the pilots table. So on the tables hive, right click, new table. Okay, the first field is ID, then I don't know what. ID, first name, last name, title, birth date, pilots ID. Let's say ID. It's an int. Great. First name. It's a varchar here. Varchar. I'm going to specify it to be varchar. last name. Also, it's a varchar title. It's a varchar birth of date. Date of birth, مش birth of date. Date of birth. Date of birth. To avoid the syntax and the lexical issues, I'm going to use varchar for my purpose here. For my purpose. Varchar, great. What else? Pilot's ID. Pilot's ID. This is a foreign key. This is a foreign key. Pilot's ID. How I knew? Because we are going to have a relationship in between the pilots on flight and the pilots. So there have to be actually primary foreign key representation here and there. Okay. Okay. The table, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save from here. It will ask me the name. I'm going to say pilots. The same spelling. Saved. Here it is saved. I'm going to close. Here in tables, I'm going to refresh. Right click. Refresh. Here it is. Here it appeared. It is available here. Great. Leave it there. I'm going to create the second entity. Let's say flights. I'm going to generate the flights now. The same way. There is an ID, I believe. Yes, ID from to departure date, planes ID. ID here. It's an int. Data type. From it's the varchar to also it's a varchar. Come on. Okay. Varchar. Departure date, I believe. Departure date, planes ID, yes. Departure date, I'm not using the spaces usually to avoid the issues. Varchar and flights, planes ID. Planes ID. It's an int. Wait, let me check. Yes, is the one. Let me save now, and the name is flights. Flights. Great, happened, saved, close, refresh here, and here they are both now. Great. Let's generate the third. I'm going to generate planes. I'm going to generate planes now. So on the tables, right click, new table. It's ID first of all. So it's an int. Model build date. Model, it's a varchar build date. It's a varchar also. Great. The last is number of seats. Number of seats. One. I'm gonna say it's an int. Okay, great. Number of seats is an int because it's a number only. Yes, it's correct. I'm gonna say the name. The name is planes. Planes. I'm respecting the spelling even. I'm even respecting the spelling actually to be accurate later on. Okay, close. Refresh again from here. Here they are, the three now. These are the planes, the last one. Okay. Let's generate the fourth and the last. This is an association table since it has only two IDs. It has only two IDs, so this is an association table between the pilots and the flights. So pilots on flights, pilots on flights. Tables, new table. I'm going to say the same ID available. Let me just show to you. The same ID available here, which is the pilot ID, and the same ID available here, which is plane's ID. The same, both. planes ID, pilots ID. I'm gonna write here. Here it is. I went to the machine. I'm sorry. So planes ID, planes ID, and flights ID. Both they are int. Okay, great. I'm gonna save. Flights ID, pilots ID. I made the mistake here. It's pilots ID, pilots ID. Yes, and flights ID. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna save. The name here actually pilots on flights. Pilots, pilots on flights. Great. Refresh. Close from here first. Refresh. Great. So, okay, I'm gonna generate. I'm gonna generate the the list of relationships here. Those lines here. Those lines here. I'm gonna generate actually here for the purpose of this learning only. Database diagrams. We have it here. We have database. I'm gonna expand. No, we cannot. It's empty. This is an informative message. I'm gonna say yes. Here, I'm gonna right click, new database diagram, new database diagram, and we have the four tables. I'm gonna select them and add. Full stop, close. That's it. I have them here, the four. They are all here now. I'm gonna bring them here. Good, they are here now. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna draw the same graph. So there is a line here, there is a line here. They are associations. Association in between pilots and pilots on flights, an association between flights and pilots on flights, an association, another one between flights and planes. So let's draw them. I'll start with the pilots and pilots on flights. To do so, there have to be a primary key here and a foreign key here, or the vice versa. There have to be a primary key here and a foreign key here. We have a primary key here, pilot ID, and we have it here. So I'm going to drag and drop this one. Click, drag, drop it here. He said that it has to be only a primary key or unique value to do it. I'm going to say, okay, it will not happen. Why? Because I do not have generated a primary key. I'm going to generate it now. I'm going to redo. See, if I drag and drop again, same message. It has to be primary key or a unique value. I drag this primary key to this foreign key on top here. Still the same message. No, it will not run. Why? Because this is not yet the primary key. This is not primary key. I'm going to do that. How to do? I'm going to open this same table, pilots on flights. Pilots on flights, right click. Design. Here it is. Right click on this pilot, right click, set primary key. The key appeared. I'm going to save. I'm going to say, no, actually it is because I'm not able to save. He's saying that you may require following tables to be dropped and recreated. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to say, okay, again. It's not saved yet. What I'm going to do, tools, options, design. I'm going to search for design. Designer, here it is, here it is. This prevent here, I'm going to untick it. I'm going to untick this one. Press OK. Now I'm going to save. It has been saved. It has been saved. Class, finished. I come back here. See the key has appeared here. The key now. The key appeared. I'm going to drag and drop from there to here. Yes, now I have the message. From this table to this table, which keys? Pilot ID to pilot ID. I'm going to say OK. OK again. Class, the line has been drawn. See, it appeared. Great. Great now. I'm going to do the same line here in between these planes and this pilot's ID. Not planes, from the flights. From the flights and these piles. So from these flights here to this pile. The same way I'm going to generate here. Actually, this is the flight ID and this is the plane's ID. Not plane ID here. There is a mistake. It has to be flights ID here. Flights ID. But even though I'm going to generate here the same way. I'm going to generate a line which is a relationship between this primary key and this foreign key. I'm going to drag and drop the same message. It has to be primary key or unique value. It will not. Again, I try. Here, leave. No, the same message. Again, I try. It will be persistent. It will primary key and unique again. It's the same. So I have to change this one to be primary key. Flights. I open this same table again. Piles of flights. Design. And I set this one to be primary key. Right click, set primary key. Do you want to delete the relationships? I'm going to say yes, whatever. So here it is. It has been changed to primary key. I save. You remember the message I clicked now. See, when I come back, the line has been deleted. Why? Because I told him that to change the relationship. If I drag and drop now, yes, it works between this table and this table, and those are the primary keys, or those are the attributes. Press OK and OK. Here is the line. It works very fine. So no, we have two primary keys in this entity. According to our diagram here, we have two primary keys. See here, both of them, they are primary keys to work, to make the lines be remaining there, both of them. I come back to this table, this one, design. Both of them, I set them to be primary key. I'm going to say no. I select both. Right click, primary key. Do you want to delete the relationship? I'm going to say yes. And here it is. Both of them, they are primary keys now. See, set. I'm going to save. Close this one. Now I'm going to drag and drop the pilot ID to the pilot ID. I'm going to say yes. What did he say? Okay, I'm going to cancel this one. I'm going to drag and drop this one now. The vice versa, I'm going to do it here to here. Yes, it works. Very okay. Yes, both sides. Flights, no, here, nothing. None. Okay. What happened? Pilots on flights, pilots. Pilots ID, pilots ID. That's the one. This is the pilot, this is the one. Okay. Because in table pilots flights do not match an existing primary key or unique constraint. Oh, okay. Because it has to be from the both sides the same value. Cancel. So because it is here requiring us to generate one primary key only, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to generate again only one primary key. This I'm going to take it off from being primary key. Set this one a primary key. That's it. Actually, for this one, I'm not going to set it to be a primary key for now only. Save first of all. Sorry. Save. Yes. Drag and drop. That's it. Full stop. I'm going to pass drag and drop. Yes. I'm going to pass to you the second table just for your understanding only. The planes is the last one, and this table here, which is the flights. So primary key, this one, I'm going to set as primary key. Here it is, and I'm going to drag and drop it here. ID, planes ID. That's enough. That's enough. Has been happening. That's it. Good stuff. Save this diagram. Okay, I'm gonna give it the name RDB relation. Okay, the following. Save your database. I'm gonna say yes. Great. later on, because to make the thing actually simple, I'm not going to continue the relationships as per the diagram, because later on they will cause us to match and to be strict when we solve the issues here, sorry, when we solve the tasks here, the requests and queries here, we'll be actually stick into the diagram here. So to avoid some issues later on, to make it simple, I'll stop at this level for the diagram, and I continue. I'll stop here, and maybe I will come back and delete those two even. So later on we see if we get any constraint. I'm gonna stop for the diagram here. So you can continue, you can do it at home to test. So for now, let's pass to second part. Populate each entity with one record each. Populate each entity with one record each. What does it mean? We're going to insert the value here, insert the value here, insert the value here, and insert the value here. Let's do that. So start with the flights. Okay, right click, edit top 200 rows, edit top 200 rows. And in here, I'm going to input any value. So here one, here I'm going to say from Muscat. Two, I'm going to say Dubai. Departure date, I'm going to say 7th 3 2021. Plane ID, I'm going to say MSC 123, Muscat 123, whatever. I'm going to say, okay, there is a problem here. Invalid value for cell 1 colon 1. The changed value in this cell was not recognized as valid. Error message, type of value appropriate. Type. Yes, okay, I'm going to say, it seems to be the data type. Yeah, exactly, because the plane ID we said it is a number. So I'm going to say 1 here. Plane ID it is 1. Okay, that's enough. Click next slide. See the red dots? They have to disappear. I'm going to click outside only. I'm not going to press any save. There is no save here. Still, I have an issue. Correct errors. The statement has been terminated. The data one was not committed. Error source. SQL client data provider. The insert statement conflict with the foreign key. Yeah, see the foreign key. I told you that we will have a problem to insert the values. I'm going to say okay. I'll come back to the diagram here. Refresh. Expand, and here's our diagram. Open it. So here we have a relationship in between those two, this pilot and this pilot. So I'm gonna open this one first, where the key is. This table means pilots on flights, and start with that. Open, edit top 200 rows, and here I'm gonna type 1 1, for example. Pilot ID is 1, flight ID is 1, pilot ID is 2, flight ID is 1, for example. Pilot ID is 3, pilot flight's ID is still 1. For example, I'm saying I'm filling any data. Okay, saved. See, whenever I insert a new row, it gets saved automatically. I'm going to close this one now. I come back, I close this one also. I come back to this one. Here is one. I'm going to click outside now. Still, it is shown an error. Here, still was not updated. These are the flights, no, isn't it? So the flights has the flights. No. The flights is with the planes, not this one. So I'm gonna open this table, the flights. This is the flights table. It has a relationship with the planes. So I have to start filling the data in the planes first to avoid that error, to avoid this error. See when I click outside, to avoid this problematic structure or problematic input or insert value, inserting of values, I have to start from this planes. So I'm gonna open the planes where it is, here it is, and fill data there. Edit top 200 rows. I'm gonna write type, for example, 1. Model, I'm gonna say MSC123. Build date, I'm gonna say 7/3/2021, for example, today. Number of seats, I'm gonna say 120, any number. No, here, number of what here? Number, I wanna say, no, there is number of what? Which number here? Build date, number of seats, there is no number. And the plane, there is no number. We do not have a number here. We'll delete this column. We have number of seats only. That's it. So we come back here. No, here, here. We do not have a number here. I'm going to close this window. Cancel first of all. And I'm going to reopen the planes again. Edit top 200s. No, still it's here. I'm going to design and build date mode. Yes, that's great. So I'm going to save. I'm going to save here the star. It's showing the star. I'm going to save it. That's it. Close. And I'm going to open it and edit top 200s. Yes, there is no number here now. 1, MSC, build date, I'm going to say 7/3/2021. Number of seats, I'm going to say 120, for example, or 200s. Okay, any number. Okay, next slide. Saved. It has been saved. The red dots has been disappeared. If I record new plane, I use 2, for example. Model, for example, is USA 123, for example. Date is, for example, 3 7 whatever. No, I'm gonna say 7/3/2000. Any date. Size here, I'm gonna say 100 only seats. See the red dots. I'm gonna click next line. They have disappeared. Means it has been saved automatically. I'm gonna close this one. I come back here now. I click next line. It has been saved. There is no message now. There is no problem. It has been saved because I respected the architecture here. It is not saved. I'm going to save it again. Not here. Save, I said. Here, yes. It has been saved. Now I close this one. I close this one. Did we finish the insert in all? Here, yes. خلاص. Pilots. Here, no, not yet. I'm going to insert values here. I'm going to say 1. First name, I'm going to say Ali. Last name, I'm going to say Ali also. Whatever. Title, I'm going to say pilot. The date of birth, I'm going to say 1/1/2000. Pilot ID, I'm going to say 1, whatever. Click next line, saved. It has been saved. Very okay. Okay, there's no dot. I'm not going to press any save because it has been already saved. Click save. That's it. Close, sorry. Next entity, the top 200. Yes, we already inserted values. Next one. Edit top 200s. Yes, we have already values. So خلاص, we finished. So we populated all with values. We populated all with values. We pass to the next. Here we are going to interrogate. Let me just read. Okay, those are query based, and we are going to answer them one by one. Starting with the first query here. We're going to display the list of pilots in the system. Actually, we have a system. The system is made up of those 4 entities here. Those 4 entities. Okay. What are the pilots available in the system? We are going to extract them. So simply, it's a simple select from this entity only. To do so, I'm going to open this new query builder from here. New query builder. And I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to build our query now. We are not, because actually I can do the following. Right click on the table, edit top 200s, and here they are. No, this is the background. No, close. We need to build our query to answer this question. So using the DB, answer the following queries. They are queries actually. Let's do that. So here I'm going to say use the database. Actually, we need. What is the database name? Here it's flight sys. I'm going to say flight sys. So it has appeared. I'm going to choose it. Here it is. Inline and go. Okay. Select all, execute. Complete successful. Okay, now we are using the flight list, and here it is visible. Here it is. Here it is here. Okay, let's now answer the first query, which is to display all the pilots from the system, from within the system. So I'm going to say select everything, everything from what? From this pilots table here. From this pilots table. I'm going to write the name pilots like it is. Pilot. Yes, here it appeared. Is the one. Select it. Enter. Highlight. Execute. Here it is. Ali, pilot 112,000. It is here. So we extracted all. So this is the question number 1 has been answered. Query number 1, sorry. Query number 2. Display the list of planes in the system. The planes now. So our system, this is it. The planes were there. Here it is, the planes. So I'm going to extract everything from here. Here, new line. Select, I'm going to say star from. This is the plane. So I'm going to type the same name, the same spelling. Plane. Here it appeared. Here it is. Choose it. Okay, highlight, execute. See, number 1, number 2, dates, and the number of seats. It is shown very fine. So actually, why I'm highlighting now here? Because if I do not highlight, see, I'm not going to highlight. I'm going to press execute. See what it will do. 1, 2. What is this? It is executing everything. But no, I need to execute only this part. So I highlight and execute only this. Okay, query 2 has been answered. Let's pass to query number 3. Display the list of planes and the system that they have more than 100 seats. Now it is a little bit more complicated. We need to display because we are going to use the operators and the ranges here. We know that it's in the theory. So we need to display the planes that they have seats more than 100. Pretty easy. So we come back, see the planes here we displayed. We have 2 planes in our case, in our system. One, it has 200 seats, and another has 100 seats only. So we need to display only one, which is the 200s. How to do that? So query number 3. So select, simple. Select star from the same planes here, planes. Use it. But here we have a where clause. Where what? The field number of seats, where it has to be more than 100. Number of seats here. Number of seats, here it is. I'm going to choose it. Here it is. Number of seats. Greater than strict hundreds. Full stop. So I'm going to highlight and execute. It has shown this one only. It works very fine. See, I'm going to say, for example, greater than 200 exactly. What it has to show me? Nothing, because we do not have any airplane that has more than 200 seats. I'm going to say, for example, more than 10. For example, more than 10 only, more than 10 seats. How much it will display? 2 planes, because both of them, they are having more than 10. These more than 10, these more than 10. So both of them. When I say more than 100 strict, it will show only one plane, only this one. So let's pass to the next query. Okay, we need actually now to display the flights of the plane, a specific plane flights. This is a little bit more complex, but let's solve it differently. I'm going to solve it differently to make you understand the question. We are going to display the flights of a specific plane. Okay, let's see the graph first of all. The system. Okay, we have a plane and we have a flights. The flights of this plane only we are going to display. So the plane ID, here it is, we have it, plane ID, we have it, and we have the flight. So we're going to display the flights where the plane ID is equal to this one, no more, no less. I'm gonna first of all solve it in the easy way. I'm gonna say select star from flights. Yes, here it is, flights, the table, where, let's say, the flight's ID, where this field here, sorry, the plane's ID, this field here, plane's ID, planes, here it is, planes ID, is equal to, for example, the question is asking what? This number here, planes ID, this one. I'm going to copy it. Okay. Select, execute, nothing. He's saying there is an issue in this syntax because it's alphanumeric. So I'm going to put it in between two single quotations. Yes, like this. Now I'm going to highlight and execute. Incorrect. There is nothing here. We cannot compare. We cannot compare an alphanumeric value to an int because the plane's ID, we already defined it as an int. See, I'm going to open this flights table. Here it is. I click in design view. The plane's ID is an int. We cannot give him the value, close, the following value. Textual, it's alphanumeric. GX is alphabet, it's not numbers. So we cannot do that. To do so, I'm going to change the flight's ID design, this one to be varchar. I cannot change because we already have put values and relationship. So I'm going to say no. Do you want to proceed in these modifications? Here, actually, because we did not put a lot of values, I'm going to say yes, maybe. Let's try it. Okay, I said yes. I'm going to say the modification. Your database, do you want to continue? Yes. Okay, I'm going to close now. Here, I'm going to execute again. Happened. It has been calculated. Yes, proceeded. But what is the output? Nothing. Why? Because inside of these flights, not here, up to hundreds, we have no plane with ID that has this value. I'm going to say now, I'm going to create an copy. I'm going to insert a new plane, number 2. That starts the new flight, sorry. That starts from Dubai to Muscat. Date, let's say 10/3/2021. Plane ID, this one. Exactly the one we copied now. Next line. I'm going to say, okay, what happened here? Yeah, because we do not have a value in our planes. So I'm going to open the planes first. At the top 200s, I'm going to insert an ID like this. So it will not go because it's an ID, it's an int. I'm going to generate it from, for example, the model is, for example, ABC123, whatever. Date of manufacture, I'm going to say 1/1/2000 stuff. Number of seats, I'm going to say 150. Okay. Next line has been saved. That's great. So I'm going to close now. I'm going to close. I come back to my query table here. Next line now. Yes, it has been saved. I'm going to close now. Now I come back and interrogate this query. Here is my plane. Here is it. Here it is. So it works very fine. My system is successful so far. It's very successful. I like it. So let's continue. Yeah, but we did not solve the problem yet. The problem has asked us clearly. Display the flights of the plane. This one actually, ID 47JX7. Oh, yeah, okay. We manually given it. Here it is clear and it's enough. It solves the problem. I was thinking about searching all the planes with this model. No, leave it for now. Let's pass to the next query. Display the planes model of the year. Yeah, what does it mean? It means actually their model is this year. This year. But remember, the model, we did not type the year. We in input, the planes I'm going to select. See the model, what did we type? The model we typed actually is a number. It's a serial number model. So I have to update all of them in order to display. But even though, let's solve the query, and later on we will update. The update, we'll see the update query later on. So let's solve the query. Let me have a look again. So display the planes model of the year. Yeah, great. So the planes, the plane entity, here it is. I'm going to say select star from planes. Here it is. I selected where clause. Where clause. What is the where clause? Actually, the model. This model here, where the model is 2021. Model. Yes, here it appeared. The blue one. Selected equals 2021. Simple. Select all. Execute. It's telling me an error. Date. We cannot compare this one to date type int. It is not actually, because this is actually varchar, and this is actually a date. I'm going to say here in between two single quotations to solve that problem. Select again, execute. It worked very fine, that's good, but no output. Why? Because we do not have any model. They see here without models, all of them. There is no model 2021. No model of equals 2021. No. It means it will give us an empty output. We do not have any plane from this model. It is very fine. This is very fine. It's not, it's expected. Next query. Display the planes. Display the planned flights for today. The flights today. The flights. Let's see our system again. The flights. So this is the flight entity. This is our flight entity. Today. Departure date is today. Departure date is today. Okay. So I'm going to say new query. Select star from flights. I'm not seeing from here, from flights. Select star. Yes, because we have an issue from. Come on. From flights. Here, the blue one. Where clause. Actually, the where is what? From the flights. I'm going to say from the flights. We are going to check the departure date. Departure date is. So I'm going to spell departure. Here it is. I choose it. Is what? In between single quotations, two single quotations, the date of the day, 7/3/2000. Sorry, 2021. Let's select and let's execute. We have it. Here it is. Here it is. It works very fine. We got it. So today we have one flight. We have one planned flight. Very good. Next query. Insert a new flight planned for tomorrow. What does it mean here? Is it hard to find? No, I'm going to do copy. Here, new line. And paste. What to change? This 7/8. Today is 7th. So I'm going to change it to be 8th. Today is 7th. I'm going to change it to 8th. That's it. I'm going to select now. And execute. It works, but no output. We don't have any flight for tomorrow. We do not have any flight for tomorrow. So it works very fine, but no flights. Very good. Next query. Cancel any flight planned for today at 10 p.m. Cancel any flight planned for today. Yes, but not only for today. It has to be for today and it has to be at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. means the date and time has to be specified. The flights, they have to be for today, yes, but at 10 p.m. Let's check the table also first of all. Flights, right click, edit top 200. We do not have a time, but we have a date, a departure date. So we are going to check for the departure and the time also. We do not have any time. What should we do? To answer this question, I'm going to just do it differently. What does it mean cancel? It means I'm going to delete. So I'm going to delete. The query is delete. Delete from which entity is the flights? Yes, the flights, the blue one. Where we have a clause. To delete where? Where what? The departure date. The departure date equals, in between double single quotations, 7/3/21. Here, 10 here p.m. Write it differently. Yes, I'm writing the date and the time all together. Yes, and execute. Select, execute. 0 rows affected means it has been executed, but nothing has been deleted. Nothing has been deleted. Why? Because we don't have any flight at 10 p.m. No flights at 10 p.m. We have nothing to delete. Okay, next query. Add now. Now we're going to add a new pilot profile, new pilot. So the pilots earlier, we selected them all. Here, let me execute again. We have one pilot only, Ali. I'm going to insert a new pilot. Insert. So the query is insert into. The table name is pilots. I choose it. Values. I'm going to insert values. And between double quotations, I'm going to insert the values. The first value is the ID. We have one. I'm going to insert 2, comma. The second value is what? First name. It's varchar. So in between 2 single quotations, I'm going to say, for example, Murad, comma. Next value is the last name. It's the varchar also. So in between 2 single quotations, I'm going to say Omar, double comma. Next value is the title. It's a varchar also. So I'm going to put it in between 2 double quotations. I'm going to say pilot also. Semicolon, sorry. Next value is the date of birth. It's a varchar. We're choosing it to be varchar. So I'm going to put it so in between 2 single quotations. So I'm going to say 1/1. I'm going to say a different date. 22, 20,000. Okay. Comma. Next, what is it? It's pilot's ID. It's an int. I'm going to say 2. Okay, done. I'm going to select it all from here. See what I highlighted. What did I do? From the parenthesis to the first query. Execute. He said 1 row affected. Means it has been inserted. Let me check and execute the pilots now. We have 2. 1 and 2. Ali and Murad. We have both of them. Both of them, they are available now. It has been executed. Means this query here, it has been executed. We added a new pilot profile. Okay. Now, next query is to add a new fleet member, a new plane to the fleet. New plane means we are going to insert a new plane. The architecture, we have the planes, here it is. We are going to insert a new plane to the list of planes. So a new insert into planes, I choose it, space, values, I open the parenthesis, and I close it. In between, the planes actually, let's check the planes here, the structure, highlight, we have ID, model, build date, number of seats. Okay, let's start with the ID first of all. So here, the ID, the last ID we have this 40, I don't know what. I'm going to insert 3 for the ID. And model, I'm going to say 2021. It's a year. And build date, I'm going to say 1/1/2010. It's a date, but I'm going to put it in between 2 single quotations. It's a varchar at the end of the day. Colon. Then the number of seats. It's an int. I'm going to say, for example, 220. Okay, I'm going to highlight all here and execute. He said 1 row affected. That's great. Let's check the airplanes now. Select, execute. Here it is, the number 3, 2021 ID, model. This is the record, it has been generated. That's great. That's great. Means this query has been executed. 220 seats. It has been executed. Next query. Now update the airplane. This one, the model changed to change the model to be Airbus. The model to be Airbus. The airplane ID, this one, this airplane, to change its model to Airbus. Okay. This is the same airplane we used earlier, the same airplane. Let's check the airplanes. Here it is, the airplane with this ID. We are required to change the model to be Airbus. The model, we need to change it to Airbus. Let's do that. So I'm going to use the update query. Update. What is the entity name? Planes. Here it is. I choose it. Set. Let's say set. But what? Model. I choose it. Equal what? Airbus. Between single quotations, I'm going to say Airbus. Clear. Select. We have IBC123 now. I'm going to say execute. 4 rows has been affected. We made a mistake. We made a mistake. See, I'm going to execute. They all have been changed to Airbus. I'm going to manually return them back. The planes. I'm going to fix this issue. Edit top 200 rows. I'm going to change this one to be MSC123. This one, it would be actually USA 123. This one would be actually 2021. This one, ABC 123. That's it. I'm going to close and execute this one again. Yes, they have been changed again. I come back now. I fix my query. It is not like that only, but here we have where clause. Where what? Model, not model, where ID equals in between single quotations. I'm going to say 40, the same model here. This same model 407 GX7. Okay, let's execute now. 1 row, see, 1 row has been affected. Only one. Let's check now the list of the planes we have. This is the plane, and it has been changed. This model changed to what? To Airbus. Only this one has been changed to Airbus. So we did it successfully. The last query. Let's pass the last query. Update all the flights of the of today's update. Actually, today's flights. But they start at 9 to be at 9:05. Very easy. Very easy. The same way like we did earlier with the flights to cancel, but they are actually at 10. I'm going to do the same one, but here we are having update, not cancel. We're not going to delete, we're going to update. So update plane, not planes. Here we have flights. Set flights. Here's the flights, and we set the departure date. set departure date, here it appeared, equals, in between single quotations, I'm going to say 7/3/2021, 905 is the update new value. Where what? Where the departure date itself, the departure date itself is equal to what? Is equal to this same value, but at 9. Here it's at 9, not 905. 9, why? Because the question asked us to change it from 9 to 905. So very easy. So that's it. I select, execute. 0 rows affected. Why? Because we do not have any flight at this time or date. The flights, the departure dates, they are not set at all. We do not have in the entity any flight or date planned at this timing. Let's check that. The flights, right click, top 200s, we do not have any. That's none at 9, none at 9.5 or whatever. We do not have. So close this one. We do not have any results. So nothing to be changed. That's great. So, but we finished. We did it. So this way we answered all the queries actually. I'm going to send you this record, and please, I expect you to submit the results by today's end of the time of the class. So by today's actually class ending. So you have to submit the let me just come back to my classroom. Yeah, I'm sending you the video now.